The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 418 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. I'm going to call this one End of an Era, as another coach departs from the program. Several players do as well, and what we thought this season was going to be didn't turn out to be. So, yeah, changes ahead, that's for sure. A little bit of uncharted territory as well. So, it's on. We're in it. Welcome to the offseason, everybody. We will, of course, cover the match that was. Talk a little bit about MLS Cup this weekend and a couple other footballing things that are happening in the lead up to the weekend. Talking about player movement, you name it, we got you covered tonight. That's for sure. Of course, to get it done, we've got the crew on board. We've got Bam. We've got Tony tonight. So let's get after it. Tony, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty well. Just got back from the gym and, just enjoying the offseason / everything else that's been going on, and then getting ready for the new season, which there's some interesting things that's been going on, especially with we finally get an answer of the US Open Cup of what happens with certain teams, because I think there's just finally been answered about that, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a season of change. We know about some other announcements we talked about in the last episode. But yes, MLS is going through a lot of changes. It has to modernize itself. Sometimes they take steps back. In this case, maybe some steps forward here. So, yes, it is happening. Of course, the expert on that is Bam. Bam, how are you doing, sir?
I'm going all right. Just finished watching the golf. So I've got the Australian Open on at the moment, which is happening within 5 minutes of my work. Didn't get a ticket this year because I'm got to be on with the boys instead. Got the second day of the second Ashes going on the side screen, so I'll be keeping an eye on that as well. And getting ready for tomorrow morning with the World Cup draw being done tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, right? So 9:30 a.m. tomorrow Pacific time. Yes, 9:30.
4:30 a.m. my time.
There it is. There it is. The sun's not even up yet for them, but I know you're going to be checking in on it. We're going to have live from Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center. Still is a Kennedy Center. The World Cup draw. Star-studded music, you name it. That's what they do, right? It's a big show. But at the end of the day, we all want to know, where is our team going to be at? Where our teams are going to be at? Because all of us support different teams in the World Cup. Are we going to get stuck together in a group of death? Because that could happen for a few of us here. But yeah, it's definitely on. It's interesting. I always enjoy the World Cup draw. Who doesn't? The suspense is awesome. Bam, are you excited about tomorrow?
I am excited. I am a bit nervous too, with Australia being pot 2. Yep. There's a lot of teams that we've already played, and we normally get 90% of the time. So I'm hoping we avoid them. In a way, I'm hoping Australia draws USA, but at the same time, I want to avoid you too, because ticket prices for those games are going to be astronomical, and I don't want to pay those ticket prices. So hopefully we get some good games. I wouldn't mind getting Haiti, Curaçao's, one of those nations would be fun. Hell, I'll even take New Zealand. Let's have Australia and New Zealand at the World Cup. Let's get that.
Hey, you're not in the same confederation anymore, so that actually can happen. The other fun part, you might not get Italy this time around, which you usually do.
Hopefully not. Still a bit dirty after the 06 World Cup, but that was a bit of a dive there, but we won't get into that. That's ancient history, so.
Yeah, that's the other fun part of the World Cup, is we get to bring back stuff that's 20, 30 years old, but we're all going to hold that grudge. It goes back, right? Right, Tony? Right? With the Netherlands? It's still fresh, right?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Robin, again, I wonder what VAR would have been done with that. I wonder. But again, you play in the era that you play in.
Yeah, I mean, we all know. We all know what happened. But yeah, it should be interesting. There's the rule changes too. I hope they cover that tomorrow as well, because there's some interesting things that they're toying with at the Arab Cup that might end up showing up at the World Cup. So that's, I know, another debate for later, but there are things, man. There are things, and it's special. Of course, we can't get into this too much. Of course, I get to sit on two fences for this, right? I got two teams to cover with Germany and the United States. History is what it is. And of course, there's another member of the Heart of LAC that I know who she's rooting for. Let's get her on. Araceli actually made it on, so let's get her to jump on as well. Araceli, welcome to another episode. We're talking World Cup draw tomorrow. I know you actually met the mascots and all that other fun stuff and been at some of the events. How excited are you about tomorrow?
I'm excited, honestly. I mean, I'm not excited at the idea of waking up at 8 a.m. for the event itself, but I am very curious to see what groups we get, and especially at the prospects that could even be here in my own backyard. Just that idea alone, I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, and one of the weird things that I guess is happening is the draw happens on Friday, but then the actual schedule drops on Saturday. It's weird. Yeah. So it's a thing. It's a 2-day event pretty much. Because then they need to figure out the TV, I guess, and they're giving themselves 24 hours to figure it out. I guess that's how they're going to do this. So even though we know these games are happening, we don't 100% know where everyone's at or what times they're going to play at. That's figured out the next day. But at least we know who's playing each other, kind of, sort of, with some of the teams trying to get back into it. So that's that. And that's always fun to talk about. We'll keep that going. Of course, back down to earth also. MLS news, as MLS Cup is happening on Saturday. Messi versus Mueller. I know. A few times I'll actually root for Vancouver, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's gonna be a good showdown on Saturday. I know, Araceli, you're probably spinning right now with everything with MLS, right?
Oh, things have been going off the rails this week. I will say, from a league perspective, this is kind of the dream matchup in a sense. So seeing all the feedback and things gearing up for Saturday has been a sight to see, to say the less. I mean, of course, I would have loved to have seen LAFC make another run at the cup, but the way I view it, maybe I get to see you guys in February. So, there's an upside to everything.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's devastating that we're not there. We should be there. We blew it. Everybody knows that, and we'll cover that more in depth. At the same time, it was either going to be Sonny versus Messi or it was going to be Mueller. And I, like I said last episode, whoever wins between our two teams, I can't help but feel like that's the final. Now I can see more interesting because the game's in Miami. So Fort Lauderdale, whatever. I know I'm technical about these things. But yeah, it's there in their semi broken house as they move into a new one next year. But that's happening. Now, the other news, of course, is us. Before we get into the game itself, I know there's some player movement that did happen. So, Bam, I was going to hand this one over to you. Now that we are where we are, there are changes, right?
There are some changes going for next year. We've just announced that we have re-signed Hugo Lloris for another season. We'll get into that a little bit later. We declined the contracts for Jailson, Baluta, Ochoa, and Saldana, and we're still in discussions with Amaya, Chonier, Moran, and Raposo. With the contract options declined, someone like Jailson, he was a good player, but for me, he wasn't worth the $1.317 million we paid him for the year. To me, he wasn't worth that money. He's worth, 700,000-800,000, but not over the $1 million mark. He just had too many, call them brain farts, for a player that played, where is he? 5 games.
Yeah, a lot of money for 5 games.
Mm-hmm. The other one that was a lot of money for would have been Baluta. He played on the bench 4, played 14 minutes of one game. Do you know how much we paid for him? We paid him
too much.
We paid him $768,000 for 14 minutes.
That one, it throws me because I know there's talent there, right? But he never got that shot. You can't assess a guy in 14 minutes. It's just not. That's not feasible. So yeah, it's a rough case. I know why we got him at the time, shorthanded and all that. But yeah, I mean, he'll be heading back home. That's for sure. We're not going to kick the tires again. Of course, you mentioned Moran. I know his was a loan deal, right? Which is why we had to give him part of the history thing and all that. Because in order to get him back, we got to either buy him or make a whole nother loan deal, right?
Yeah, that is correct. So with Moran, named and scored 11 times, made 10 appearances for us. With that, we end up paying him $691,000, which I'm happy with that amount of money. Going by transfer market, he is estimated to be worth 3.5 million euros. So that's about the same US dollars, roughly about.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you guys is, would you pay that for him?
I like him. I think he's a special player. I do. He needs more time. He needs a preseason with our guys, and I think you'd see something special there. I see an asset from that player. Like there's something there. Just he needed more time as well. But when he did play, he was effective. And what more do you want? There's other guys getting paid a whole lot more on this team in similar roles. They didn't get going all year, and they were here all year. Probably get paid more than he does. So yeah, Tony, your thoughts on Moran?
I kind of want to run it back with him for one more season, see what we can get out of it, because he was a asset in the midfield and the offensive end. So again, but MLS will MLS with salary caps and everything, so it just doesn't fit the books. And hopefully, there's something better coming in. But then again, it goes into replacing that, and when you already have it is kind of a hard thing to do, especially in the MLS.
Yeah, 100% there. But
And
you
then,
also look at
yes,
he's 22 years old. Do you drop that much money for a 22-year-old that did well for us? His value is only going up at the moment. I don't see him starting too much at Brighton Hove Albion. Offer them the money, get him going, and then have it kind of like the deal Bayern Munich did with Iniesta, with the whole, Nistelrooy, not Iniesta, Nistelrooy, where it's like, we'll sell him to you, but we can buy him back.
Yeah, that would make sense. Now, the team he came from, was it Brighton and Hove, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brighton Hove Albion.
How many games has he actually played for them? They seem to always loan him out. That's like more loan than not for him. He's not consistent with them either. He'll be bounced somewhere else.
Like, look at it too. Like, under 21s, he got. So he went to Brighton as under 18, went to Blackburn, went back to under 21s, then went to Stoke City, went back, got promoted to Brighton, and then straight out loaned to us. So they do see something in him at the moment. And you look at it too, is Brighton currently sit 7th in the EPL. Are you going to be changing that side up anytime soon to put him in there? You're not.
No. He's going to get loaned out again. Just we don't know where. If it's us, somebody else, but they're going to loan him again. That's what they're going to do. It's very obvious that they want to shop him. They don't see him in their plans right now, at least. Maybe down the line, but not at the moment. He doesn't have a spot anywhere near the 11 for them, so they're gonna keep him working because they know the talent is there, but he's not ready yet for what they want. Hard truth, right? It's how it works. So they seem to be happy here. Should have got more minutes, that's for sure. But hey, with a change in management, right? You might. So there's that too. Let's talk about that, right? When we talk about the end of the era, it is the end of the Dolo era, an era where we had a lot of blessings, a lot of moments, big finals won, big finals lost, right? The mixed bag in the big games, but always in the big games. More wins than any other team in his tenure than in the league, right? But the big games, it always comes back to that. And so very much a mixed bag. On paper, you'd say a lot of success. But in moments, right, we all have questions. That's for sure. And that I think that comes down to the Dolo era is so much there. And yes, we're always in that position to do something, but did we do enough? That to me is where it is. And for me, I felt there wasn't enough. Should have been more. There were way too many opportunities to do the right thing, and it wasn't done in the game time management. And that's why we are where we are. Tony, I'll throw it to you, sir. Your thoughts on the Dolo era?
It's a bittersweet because, yes, he did bring an MLS Cup, a Supporters Shield, and a U.S. Open Cup to LAFC before, against his predecessor who, couldn't finish it off. But at the same time, you also I don't want to question it, but it's just like, how much is that to his coaching ability or to magical moments with certain players? Because, when we talk about this game, it's kind of, I think, sums up the whole Dolo era in this game in the halves.
Yeah, definitely. Araceli, your thoughts on the Dolo era?
No, I mean, very much similar to what Tony said. It is bittersweet in the sense that, yes, we did reach so many finals under Dolo's leadership, but considering that the club still fell short in the moments that it mattered the most, it's kind of like, yeah, we reached the final, but if they weren't able to finish it, then, well, you really can't celebrate it too much in a sense. But I mean, we already knew that Dolo was leaving from practically the beginning, so we kind of already saw the shift in the club throughout this season, and now I'm just curious to see who else will come in to take his place.
The multi-million-dollar question. That is for sure. I'll throw it to you, Bam, and then we'll talk about that next step.
For me, always be grateful he won us trophies that we deserved, trophies that we needed. Could we have and should have we won more trophies? 100%. But at the same time, it felt like over the last 12 to 18 months, when he knew what decision was going to make, he was just coasting. He wasn't trying anything new. He was just like, what will happen will happen. So he'll always go down as one of our greatest managers, but will he be the greatest? I don't think so.
No, that story is still being written. That is for sure. I think a lot of it, of course, this year with the announcement that he made so early on, it took a lot of wind out of us at that stage. And the one thing that saved us was Sonny coming to town, right? And then we rode that all the way to where we are now on one guy. Kind of gave everybody some hope here, and the focus was away from the Dolo ending, right, to now a new era under Sonny, and then another end of an era as we are now, where, oh yeah, that rears its ugly head again, and here we go. So, again, I am appreciative for all that he's done for the team. There's a lot of stuff on the back end. Yeah, I know the results were what they were. That was good in terms of staffing, in terms of people that he brought in with him, like the package, right? A lot of good people involved in the organization because of him. They're probably departing now, right, as he departs. So it's it's a mixed bag, right? You saw a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of chance creation, which is what he would cite. But yeah, the big moments, we fell a bit short. I think that's it. The bittersweet for everybody. Now, let's talk about that next stage. What are we going to do? What is John Thornton going to do? Because that's the one guy that seems pretty safe in his role at this time. No question. He also is the guy that brought us Sonny and a lot of other amazing, talented players in the organization, right? It is his ship, right? And he brings in the managers he feels are the best fit for what he wants. But yeah, I think that also weighs on what's next. So, Tony, I go to you. What are your thoughts? What is LAFC looking to do? What do you think they're going to do? And what would you really want them to do?
If you follow LAFC long, and most of us have in the chat and, in the most of the pod world that we have, we're going to get a winger. We're going to get a sub midfielder, and in talks with a big name that might come in or might not. And then the other possibility is, of course, the prospect of a up and coming young gun that may do something or may not do something. We don't know until he's on the field.
The third project DP, right?
Exactly. What I want them to do is solidify the back really well. Get an attacking, creative midfielder. And that's about it. Those are the two that I would want, and put some depth in the bench as well. But that can come whatever you want to do with that. But for sure, a attacking midfielder, a creative midfielder that we've been asking since season 1, and a solid defensive line.
Would be nice. It would be nice. Yes, I'm with you, man. Do you think in terms of the coaching search, we're going to look at a promotion or we're going to look at a big splash?
Promotion looks like it's going to be. The person who I would want went to Celtic.
Yeah.
There's a conversation on a hot take that me and Ben were talking about, that of if Nancy was here, what would have been different and what changes would have done. But that's, again, those are the what ifs. But hope if we look outside, I hope it's a good. If we look outside again, you got to look in. It's going to be a JT kind of guy style. You know what I mean? Whatever JT style wants to be, the LAFC, that's what it's going to be. But that's we'll see. Again, we don't know. Who knows what the next coach is going to be? If it's in there, then we're hopefully we be held more accountable is the best way to say that.
I mean, I'll just say right now, if Nancy was our coach, 3, possibly 4 stars on our chest at this stage. That's conservative. If you look at the moments,
I say,
right?
I say if it's Nancy, like in my opinion, it's we go back to back for sure, and we have a Champions Cup. I believe, with the talent that he had, because again, what he did with Columbus, with not the talent, like again, it goes back to with the talent that Nancy had, he created a lot and it demanded a lot from his players. And I think that happens over here, but then we get two more extra cups.
Would we have been bounced last year or been in a final?
Up to debate. We'll see. Again, with the with what we had and also the motivation of our number 9 at the time, we don't know.
Right. Interesting times. Araceli, your thoughts on what the direction will be? What are they looking for?
I mean, let's be honest. When it comes to LAFC, there's always a long laundry list when it goes into the off season, and I'm going to do my best to keep this vague, just for the simple fact that the wants and needs are always different. It could either be smooth sailing, or we could just have bombs in the next couple of weeks here. But at the end of the day, when it comes to finding a new head coach, I do see them kind of going the promotion route, because I have seen the rumors of Dos Santos taking that role potentially. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and a lot of clubs are cleaning house. So there's a chance we could get another MLS coach from somewhere in the green.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of big names that will be free at the end of this year. Some up and coming names as well. There's also those coaches that happen to be in a World Cup, and their names are attached to teams playing in the World Cup that may not be under contract at the end of their run, because you know how World Cups always play out. So there'll be a glut of coaches looking for new opportunities after that. So yeah, as Araceli says, there's names, there's things being floated. There's a lot of opportunity. So I go to you, Bam. Promotion, search, delayed search. What are your thoughts?
You all know who I'd like us to have, but I don't think we will take him. Another, I'd rather do a search and find someone that is a proven coach, someone that's won trophies overseas, someone that's not afraid to tell it how it is, do what we've got to do. Another coach I'd love for us to go look at, I just looked him up. He's contracted until the end of next year at his club. He has won a bunch of trophies. He's just recently won the Chinese Super Cup. He's won the Japanese. He's a two-time Chinese champion. He's won the A-League twice, Japanese Super Cup as well. So I think we should go look at Kevin Muscat. I think he'll.
Okay.
He's winning trophies. He's winning trophies everywhere. So I'd rather, if we're not going to put in a promotion for a year and then see what happens, if we're going to go all in, I want us to search overseas and get a winning coach.
Former Australia captain, correct?
I believe he was Australia captain at one stage. His last game for Melbourne Victory was an interesting tackle, to say the least. His coaching style is a lot of how he played, hard, and get in there and win the ball.
There it is, which I like. So this is where my head wraps around all of this. I know what I want. I know what we'll get, but I think we're going to get thrown a bit here. First, I do think it's going to be a promotion. Do I think it's a permanent promotion? No, I think it's an interim promotion. The two names I think that are floating for most of us is Dos Santos, who did have some time as a head coach with Vancouver, didn't go so great. And then there's the wild card, Ante Razov. Now, me, I would prefer Razov. Why? No one lights a fire under a player like Razov does. The guy has a way about things, okay? Brilliant mind, very passionate, tells it how it is. If you've noticed him in the press conferences, is not afraid to call out people when they need to be called out. And I feel that we're as we see this lack of accountability vibe, especially after this last game, that's the kind of guy you need to get back on track. So I feel like I would want more of an attack dog at this moment than everybody's favorite guy in the room. That's me. Do I think it'll be an interim tag for either one? Yes. I think they're both sticking around? Probably. I think they'll wait it out until the summertime as a plethora of coaches, managers will be available from several leagues, from the World Cup itself. Who knows? There's certain guys that I like that could be available that you didn't think they might be. And I would say, yeah, safe bet is to run with what you got and get to that point. And then it gives you enough time to really investigate what you want and get the job done. Even though the club has had since midsummer to figure this out, I think they'll kick it along a little further. I do. That's my thought. Maybe I'll be wrong and some superstar comes in. I also believe that you're going to get a crazy number of rumors on big name coaches, especially from, say, Liga MX, right? They're going to be linked to this team for the purpose of their own contract building. And I'll believe it when I see it. So there goes that as well. You else want to add in? We're good. We got this. Tony, shaking your head. Thoughts, man?
No thoughts. It's just I'm more the coaching. Of course, this is the second time we have to worry about this, and hopefully we get a good coach. But it's also what player it's also the momentum of what the coach wants. Again, Razov is the interim. If that's going to be the case, then I'm okay with that. He's going to keep us accountable. But it's also who's coming in and what attitude they're going to come in with is also the other question.
Right. So if you throw in a player that's a showpiece type instead of a worker type, how's that going to mesh with who we have? But if we get somebody that, say, Sonny's connected with that kind of work ethic, you can put anybody on the bench. You're still going to be fine. It really depends on who's coming in next. That's for sure. All right. So there is that. I guess it puts us to the thing we really didn't want to talk about, but we have to, the game itself and why we are where we are, asking for what we're asking for. Of course, the game against Vancouver. Not going to run away from it. Yes, we faced these guys. Highlights. I mean, honestly, the only highlight I think we need to talk about is with Tony is the last 15 minutes of regulation, probably. And then what happened after the fact, right? Now, looking at lineups again, since all the drama was late, yeah, the changes are something to focus on. Of course, we had Lloris in goal, Porteous, Tafari, Seguro were your backs, Palencia, Hollingshead, the experienced outside wing backs, Delgado, Tillman holding it down in the midfield with Sonny, Bawanga, and Ordaz up top. A lineup I think we could all agree was as strong as we were going to get, as we found out certain players were unavailable by the time kickoff came around. So there is the lineup. For Vancouver, of course, White was back for this one, healthy and ready to go. Mueller was playmaker behind him. Savi, Ahmed were up in the outside wings. Berhalter, Kubas holding it down in the midfield. Blackman and back in the lineup with Pruso Bunge next to him, Ocampo and Laborda as the outside defenders. And of course, Takaoka, who's now up for MLS goalkeeper of the year. Was in goal for them. Now, the match itself, and I'll give it to you, Tony. Highlights, lowlights, and what should we be focusing on
here? Low light. Well, like I said before, this is the culmination of, if you want to say, Dolo's career. The first half, the lineup that we had is just very slow, very tactical on the back of we're just gonna lay back and hopefully get a quick turnaround and everything, and then that bit us quickly. You know what I mean? We played too high. We played and let 2 goals in fairly quickly, and it was just okay, here we go, and this is not going to be it. And then the second half is the changes, of course, the right changes, but some changes were too little too late. And I'll say that then. Of course, Sonny with the goal, which I didn't know if he was offsides or not, up to debate. You know what I mean? That was a very scary moment. And of course, the goal, I would say, of the MLS playoff. Let's be honest. We, me and you were talking about it. Same exact spot where he was in Korea a couple weeks ago, and puts it in. The highlight of that. But I feel like I'm done with the Martinez project. I'm going to say that right now. All skill, no IQ is the best way to say that. No brain, no nothing. Has all the skill in the world. Could be a great player if he just uses his head, and we win this game. Smolikov coming in a little too late on the field. I feel like he should have been on earlier, and I think could have contributed to the game even more. And then again, multiple missed opportunities in the overtime. Let's be honest, we had that. We had them, and we just gave it back to them in the penalty kicks. And Son missing the penalty kick, of course, tired. You could tell something was off walking up to it. You can see that. Unfortunately, he missed. And then the other one, Delgado, just put it in. Don't be fancy. Just put it in the back of the net. I don't care. Just put it in the back of the net. And unfortunately, we ended up losing in penalty kicks 4-2. And here we are. Another season, trophyless, a lot of what ifs. And, the era is over, and now we move on.
Yeah, I mean, the game was a microcosm of one's career at this club. Right? Promise, all that. Should take the game, don't take the game, miss the opportunities, have a triple post moment. Man, I think Tony and I we were talking throughout this match, and because we were together for this one, and not going crazy singing, but doing what we do. And we both, I think, agree. Like, if this goes to overtime, this is all bad things. Like, you just got to get this game done with. And they let it go there, and we knew penalties weren't going to go our way. You know it, you feel it in your gut. It's not going to go our way, man. It has to be done here. You have a 2-man advantage. There's no excuses and none of it. And I don't know what a manager can do at that stage with the 2-man advantage. The guys off the field have to freaking do the job. It's that simple. You have a 2-man advantage. You've got all the offensive weapons you can think of. There's only one guy I could think of that should have probably been in there, but he wasn't, which was Iwobi, because he gets the damn job done when you need him to. And he didn't get his chance. But he blew it. I mean, it's that simple. And I don't think there's anything the manager can do at that stage when you have that much advantage all over these guys. And just the Martinez not passing to Amaya moment was just heartbreaking.
Oh,
killed me. That one killed me. It's like, have you learned nothing? Especially with Amaya, who has scored timely goals for us. Like, he's right there, man. Yeah. And then his 40-foot shot for no good reason. 40 yards, right? He's way out of that. He shoots for nothing. I don't get it. An experienced player should have been there instead, but here we are. Bam, thoughts?
Sonny gave us hope. Then an inch to the left, he absolutely destroyed that post with the penalty. You could tell that he was out on it after that kick. He was out. He did what we all wanted our players to do, which is give everything for that game. Some tactical stuff didn't go our way. Again, Martinez, I think we've got to look at selling him. I would happily do and I don't know about you guys, but I would happily do a straight swap Martinez for Bogusz.
Yeah, nice.
I thought that we should have kept Bogusz. But that's just me personally. I'm just not sure about certain players.
I just don't see Martinez's value going up any further with us. So it's kind of like sell while you can. That's my thought. I know it's rough, but that's where my head's at. Araceli, thoughts on the result and the missed opportunity with the 2-man advantage? Like, yeah, your assessment.
Oh no, there was definitely several missed opportunities, and even Tony and I had talked about this the other day, and I think we both agreed that it was very slow pace, especially in the first half. And on a personal note, I will say maybe I was a little naive in thinking of just maybe when it went to penalties, but ultimately it was Sonny. If we did not have Sonny, we would have really been in big trouble. But overall, disappointing result. Should have gone our way. Missed opportunities, unfortunately, killed it. So now we trek on.
Yeah, got to pick up the pieces and move on. As rough as that was, for sure. If you want to talk about that opening tactic, when you play a solid 5-man midfield and you throw just 2 guys into the mid with wingbacks, good luck. Especially Mueller, Kubas, Berhalter. Like, good luck. What an overload. Which explained that first half pretty well. And changes were required. So there's that. All right. I do see some comments from the faithful. I'm not ignoring you guys. I just want to save it for the right moment. I think this is it. Let's see who's made it on tonight. We've got Dave, the faithful one, always in the mix. Says, let's do this black and gold familia. Philly is on here. Says longest season ever is over. Sheesh. He also says he misses us. We miss you too, man. You are a busy man. No doubt about that. But we love what you're doing, dude. Dave also says Cup exit sucked. Who's going to be our new manager? That is the story. Let's see. We've got Dave's opinion on Dolo says appreciate Dolo, but wanted more hardware. I'm 2 minds on his tenure. Exactly. Miss Mary Luna in the mix says Dolo gives Fast and Furious Brian energy. Dude, I almost had you. Took us to the finals, no win. Yep. Dave also says he agrees with Bam's assessment. And he also says that Whitecastle better win it all. That's all I'm going to say. I'm with you, man, for the sake of humanity. Get one for Canada. Let's go. It's your year, guys. Come on now. Honestly, they've beaten those guys twice this year without Mueller. The current squad without him. Like, dude, they can do this. I'm confident. I am. But I'm also a little crazy, so that too. All right, guys. Thank you for the comments. Throw them out as we continue for sure. Let's put it into perspective here, right? Outside of the football, our community is very busy as the holidays are upon us. So, Tony, I'm going to hand it over to you, sir, with the club and community news. I know our community is in need more than ever this year. So, what do we got going on?
Empire Boys are still doing the holiday charity. It ends on December 10th. They are collecting toys, new and old, neutral ages from 3 to 12 years old. Also canned foods, men's clothing, women's clothing, kids' clothing, and home decor. The drop-off location is at Rowdy's. One is at Rowdy's at 102nd 6th Street, Suite A, Rancho Cucamonga. Times to drop it off on those are Wednesday through Sunday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And also the second drop-off is SoFi Soccer Center, 11747 Stadium Way, Rancho Cucamonga as well. Times to drop off on those ones will be Monday through Sunday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that's the only one I got right now because I believe the other one is done.
There we go. So yes, support your community. Yeah, it's good stuff from the Empire Boys. And for me, Rowdy's is down the street quite literally. It's a 5-minute drive. So there it is. No excuses. And then SoFi Soccer Center, if you don't know, it's next to the epicenter for minor league baseball. Stadium's there. Yeah. Kind of easy to find out in Rancho. So run with it. That's for sure. Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. My gosh, I am not prepared for this, I will say. But I have a feeling that Bam is. Bam, any songs on mind for this one?
I've got one.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to take us all back to the year 2000 when this song came out.
Oh, God.
What's wrong, Tony? What's wrong?
I was 13. Okay.
I was around the same age as well. I'm going to go with a little bit of a boy band, a little bit of NSYNC, a little bit of Bye Bye Bye, as we say farewell to Dolo and the years of Dolo. So
that's painful.
So for this week I've chosen that one. I thought, you know what, a little bit of poppy, a little bit of NSYNC. Let's just go with that.
There we go. Araceli, you got any you want to throw into the mix?
Not anything that comes to mind.
I'm afraid to ask Tony. He's mumbling something over there.
No, mine says 2006, January 19th, 2006. The self debut album of Muse Math, and the song what I would go with is Notice. Nothing to.
There we go. And I'm in the sad song mode at this point, but the song's not too sad, just the genre tends to be. I'll go with country this time. Zach Bryan, Quitting Time, as we call it on another season. Walking away.
Oh.
Right? Off to a vacation. So, I know. That's the name of his last tour that was totally awesome. So there goes that. So there you are. A little country. Throw it in the mix. All right. What's next? It's our end of season. That's what's next, right? Calling it. Again, watch the World Cup draw tomorrow, everybody. Good luck on the tickets. Question to all of you guys. Has anybody actually gotten tickets for the World Cup, or is this all just a giant scam and people think they got tickets? 'Cause I don't have tickets.
I don't have tickets yet,
Nope.
and I'm just hoping that I can get to at least one game and I'll be happy. I'll happy go to Haiti versus whoever, Curacao versus whoever. I'll happy go to just one game and I'll be happy. The rest of the time, I'll try and play golf at Disneyland.
Yeah, I swear. Thinking of the last World Cup that was here and I got to go to so many games. If I get to one, it's going to be lucky at this stage. So I will say the Lego is pretty awesome. If you all saw the Lego World Cup, that's pretty epic. Apparently, there's going to be an announcement later this week or next week of a soccer ball that breaks open. Yeah,
What?
okay, and it's like full-size soccer ball. So there's more coming from a FIFA collab with Lego. So yeah, should be fun if you like Legos, But I don't know. Big old World Cup for $200. Jeez, yeah, it is what it is. I might as well just get a porcelain one when I'm in Mexico. They look close enough anyway. So there you go. All right, so that's that. So let's call this our final comments of the season. Our final thoughts. I think that's where we're at. So let's do this. I'm gonna start with Araceli. Your final thoughts this season.
Oh my God. I feel like that's a loaded question for some reason.
I know.
I mean, just like how Philly commented, it literally took a whole year to get to this point. Longest season ever, but we're finally here. MLS Cup is on Saturday. Again, wish LAFC could have been in it, but hey, it is what it is. Ultimately, I'm just looking forward to getting a few weeks of rest, honestly, with everything going on. And I think the season technically starts back up about mid-January. So get rest while you can. And along with that, just wishing everyone a happy holiday season and a happy new year.
There we are. Thank you, Araceli, of course, for the amazing season. All the work that you put in for the top flight, second division. You're everywhere, right? Everywhere. And it's been an amazing ride, that's for sure. Mentioning, things and transactions. All the teams have to make transactions next week, including the ones that are in the final on Saturday. You're going to see a flurry of waiver wire draft conversations, re-entry draft. Remember that, guys. It still exists. So yes, a flurry of roster moves will be announced by next week. We'll try to keep you as posted as we can under those circumstances. But as Araceli says, the season never really ends. We act like it does, but it never ends. So there's that. Which throws it to Tony, whose supporter life never ends because he's a busy man. Thoughts on the season, sir? Is you were right front and center for all of this.
It was bittersweet. A lot of twists and turns. Like, let's be honest, from literally lows to the highest of highs. I'm excited for Champions Cup. As we're in it now. But also, with that being said, we are no longer in the U.S. Open Cup as well because of the congested schedule of MLS. Any Champions Cup participants will not be in the U.S. Open Cup. So that answers our question with as us three were talking about San Diego, and I confirmed with Araceli San Diego doesn't have a 2 or a Next Pro. So we were wondering how that would work, but there's our answer. They are not going to be in it. So, but that said, it was a lot of tip of what could have been. It's like, this is like literally a season of what could have been kind of season. You know what I mean? If certain things went our way, it's more of the worst heartache you can have for me.
Agreed. Heartbreaking. That's for sure. I'll throw it to you, Bam. Your final thoughts on the season.
Final thoughts on the season. End of the day, it is what it is. Some players got caught out. Some players stepped up and showed out. Some moves were made. Some moves were missed. There wasn't much more that we could do about it. We just got to head down, look into next season. Next season, there are trophies back up for grabs. It's the last summer season, as we'll call it, for the MLS before they do their transitioning. There is a massive break in the middle of the season for the World Cup. And then we're back into it after the World Cup. So it's going to be interesting next year. We don't know what we're going to do during the World Cup thing. We might do a little podcast here and there just to catch up because we can all be in the same place at the same time. And we never know what will happen.
That's true. Live and direct. Yes, so much to happen this year. And so much football coming up, as Bam says. The summer of football for certain, of all levels. Yeah, good stuff, Bam. All right, that gives it to me. The final thoughts on the season, the final thoughts on our end of season episode here. First and foremost is a thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to everyone that's on this pod right now. Stepping up late nights for many of us, Tony and I. Late nights for Araceli into tomorrow. She's into tomorrow. Bam's into tomorrow, but way down the line in tomorrow. All hours, all time zones around the world. Yeah. So my thanks, of course, goes to these guys, the three of you that keep this thing going day in and day out. And your families that allow you to do so too. So you know how it runs. And then to you guys, the listeners, all season sticking it out with so many episodes we pulled this year, so many competitions, so many highs, so many lows, but you still come back for more of the madness. So I thank you all for that. Guys who put the comments up, like Dave, every week. Dude, you're the reason why we do this, man. You guys rock. Everyone who puts the comments throughout the years, we've appreciated every one of them. And it really does drive every episode forward. So thank you guys for that. To my family for putting up with my nonsense as well, as I go on a late night yet again. Y'all rock. But it's been one heck of a year. And I think lost opportunity for me is the greatest thing I could say about it. It was a lost opportunity, as I feel every year that we're always in contention. It just doesn't work itself out. And it's one of these as well, where in this case, we were better. Again, and it didn't go that way. Let's hope whoever comes in forces it. And also, if they don't, other names need to come up as possibly to be replaced if we can't get it right this year. That being said, it will be the busiest year. If you thought this was a long year, next year will be the longest year ever as we play 8 million competitions. Don't forget, Leagues Cup is also on the roster. World Cup for many of our players, possibly a few new names going, like Tillman could be in a World Cup here. Let's see where our players end up. It's pretty wild as this next year kicks itself off, and it really does. Summer soccer begins tomorrow as the draw happens. But yes, we hope to have nonstop football, multiple divisions to cover yet again, and just gonna make you that much busier. So enjoy your holidays, everybody. Get a breather, step away from the game slightly if you can for a week or two, and come back fresh and ready to go for next year. Because again, it's going to be a chase. It's going to be wild. And who knows, we might be in Costa Rica again. So Tony and I and many others can attest to, hey, a chance for another cool road trip. You backed into one. So we could have that as well. So to everybody again, thank you. We will definitely see you next year. Heck, we might even see you next week. We'll see how this plays itself out. But what we do know is this season is done. We're done. Let's move on. Let's build and focus on the future. And on that note, the final word of the day. Araceli.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.